Hey friends, welcome back to OG Universe. Thanks so much for stopping by and spending some time with me here as we take a look at the Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Nightwing figure from the Batman Knightfall storyline. So this figure did make an appearance in one of my previous videos when we took a look at Animal Man in that classic Blue Beetle body buck, which I think hands down is one of the best body bucks Mcfarlane has. Definitely fantastic superhero body buck. Proportions are really good. Excellent fluidity of articulation as well. And this figure here, I mentioned just briefly my thoughts on it, and I want to expand a lot more on it in this video here. Now, my videos, I try to keep them positive, upbeat, energetic. You know, I want to be a negative person saying, oh, this is wrong, this sucks, blah, blah, blah. Sure, if there's something critically wrong with an action figure, I mean, it is an action figure, it's a toy. But if there's something critically wrong where, man, it is like red flags come up, stay away from this figure, I would definitely speak my honest truth about it. But this figure is a mixed bag. I mean, it has some great things going for it and some things that Mcfarlane should have executed much, much better. All right, so let's take a look at what we're getting with this Nightwing action figure. So, standard packaging. Yeah, it's got nothing inside. Nightwing on the side here, Knightfall, beautiful artwork on the back. And what I really like is when the artwork represents the figure inside. We'll talk about that in a sec, but this artwork is absolutely awesome. So well done. Now for the inner tray, you do get a couple extra set of hands. You get some closed fists, some gesturing hands, and grasping hands. And then you also get the card art, trading card, and you also get the display stand as well. So that's what you're getting with the figure. Now the figure itself, does it come close to looking at this kind of artwork? No, it doesn't. Is it still a good action figure to have in your collection? Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, definitely. It's still a good action figure. Now off the hop here, the head sculpt is rendered so well. It has, again, this newer skin tone where it's cast in this nice, realistic flesh tone plastic. It's not being painted anymore. I really appreciate that. And the head sculpt as well does capture the artistic efforts of Tom Grummett. He was an artist on Teen Titans, Superman, during the Knightfall storyline. He did some covers and some interiors. He did extensive work on Robin as well, his first regular series. And it definitely captures his style and artwork for sure. The head sculpt also has that really classic 90s ponytail as well. It's nicely done, and he even has a blue band going around, if you can see there. I mean, that is some really nice attention to detail. Now, he also comes with one of his stunner discs right here. It's sculpted into the hand. Doesn't come out whatsoever, which is okay, because you do get other hands that you can put a Batarang in if you wanted to. I really do like the fact that it came with this style of Batarang for Nightwing during this time period. Okay, now let's get to the rest of the figure. Of course, you're going to notice the biggest point of contention. The artwork has this beautifully sculpted armor that wraps around his chest, his waist, wrists, and his calves as well. Here, it's just deco and painted on. I don't like that. I'm really disappointed Mcfarlane went this route. When, you know, this figure could have been such an amazing standout figure for your Nightwing collection. The belt is really nice. I like they went that little extra detail with the logo, the sculpted pouches here. That looks really great. Now, I will say the markings here are painted extremely well. There's no mix-ups, there's no overlap. They are painted and stamped on extremely well. But still, it just doesn't do what this figure should have. I mean, how hard of it would have been to put a plastic overlay to represent armor. You still could have a pliable material for the shoulders, so it can still give you the full range of motion from his shoulder joints. Now, the one thing that really annoys me too, the spacer joint here. It's just painted blue. It doesn't carry on the pattern here from his chest. Oh, I don't like that. So you do have to play around with the arms to kind of have that continuation going on. Oh, I don't like that at all. But overall, the body buck is what saves this figure because it's an incredible body buck. It's super heroic, excellent proportions on this figure as well. The color choices, the dark blue, this light baby blue, the yellow, they all work extremely well. And one thing about this body buck is the fluid articulation. I mean, he has unbelievably good articulation. There's no hiccups in the joints. There's no, rigidness or extreme stiffness that cause hiccups when you're trying to articulate the figure. And you can get the figure into some really good posability. You can get in some dynamic poses there. So I do appreciate the overall somewhat effort on this figure. Nightwing is one of the most popular figures in the DC universe. When we get a new Nightwing figure, it's celebrated. Hey, we got a brand new Nightwing. That's awesome. But unfortunately, this one was not executed to where it should be. I was very much expecting this style of Nightwing. Unfortunately, we're not getting that. And it's a little disappointing to see Mcfarlane, I wouldn't say cutting costs, cutting corners, but it does feel like a phoned in figure, so to speak. This could have been done so much better with just a little bit extra work on it. I don't think it would have cost like an extra, fortune to try and make this figure. We already got a pre-existing body buck. We're doing some overlay on some marble plastic to make this figure really stand out. This figure is still available on Walmart's website, which is really surprising. I thought this figure would have sold out extremely fast, but maybe given the execution, people were disappointed with it and maybe didn't sell as well as possible. Now, another Nightwing figure that I'm going to bring in, this one is from the Titans Beast Boy Build-A-Figure wave. Much smaller proportions. This is using that young teen, kind of mid-teen adult body that we've seen sported on Superboy, Beast Boy, Kid Flash, and also, was it Kid Flash? Impulse. So we've seen this body buck used quite a few times. It is very slender. It is very small compared to this body buck, like in the height too, proportions. You're seeing a really, a teen looking Nightwing where he should be more of kind of a young adult, where here I'd say he's a little bit younger, maybe he's very early 20s, but he's buffed out. And that's one of the good things about this body buck. You're getting a really good buff superhero, but does it work with this Nightwing character? Not to a great extent, in my opinion. Now, like I said, I don't want to make negative, oh man, this figure sucks, it's the worst figure ever. I still see a lot of good points about this figure. That head sculpt is absolutely amazing. And I think if we played around and put him on some different body bucks, it could be a standout looking Nightwing that we're getting. The body buck itself with the paint apps, that's where the biggest fault lies with this figure. Definitely should have been an armored overlay to represent all of this yellow throughout the entire figure. The belt is really nice. The trunks are perfect. But man, just lacking that extra armor piece. So we see the comparison with Nightwing here. I kind of grown a bit more attached to this Nightwing. When I first did the review on him in the Beast Boy wave, I was a little disappointed. He was probably my least favorite out of all those figures. There were some great figures. Donna Troy was amazing. Arsenal was fantastic. Raven was a surprise hit as well. And the Beast Boy Build-A-Figure was one of the best Build-A-Figures we've gotten from Mcfarlane Toys. But this one, it just, I don't know, didn't come with any skirmish sticks. Just came from one set of hands. So we have to do a bit of toy surgery to get this looking like a Nightwing that we're used to seeing from the comics, with a full loadout of weapons, better hands as well. But still, it's grown on me. The simplicity of the costume is represented really well. The colors look great. The head sculpt is phenomenal. Kind of wish it was a bit more textured in the sense of not being painted, but it still looks fantastic, and the mask looks great as well. So a lot of pluses on this figure. Let's just take him out for a second, and I want to bring in one of the most popular Batman figures from the Knightfall storyline. Of course, this is Knightfall Batman. So seeing these two guys together, it's a little off. The scaling is a little bit off. Batman is sitting a little bit, just a hair shoulder smaller. He's still a buff figure. He looks great, but I think he should have been just a little bit taller, just to give it better proportions, something like that, but seeing these two figures together, it's a hit and miss. It's a hit and miss on this one for sure. Now let's bring in another kind of gray and blue Batman. We'll bring in the Jim Lee Hush Batman and these two, I think, scale much better. This Batman is a bit bulkier, definitely more proportionate to what we see. And comparing the two as well, he does stand quite a bit taller and definitely gives a bit more of a presence that we expect from Batman. Nightwing shouldn't be the exact same size or even taller, in my opinion, than the Batman figure. But yeah, I digress. So let's take a look at some articulation on this figure. Now, the head sculpt, it gives you great range of motion there. You got the side attitude rocking back and forth. You got the shoulder spacer to give him that nice butterfly range. And you do have a lot of articulation in the shoulder in this body buck. You got the bicep cut, double joint ratcheted elbows. You got full articulation in the wrists with the ball joint. Now, for the abdominal region, you can look back quite a bit. You do have quite a bit of range of motion there, going back, forward, not too bad. You do have the ball joint in the waist, ball joints in the hips, double jointed ratchet knees, all the toe articulation you'd want for days and days. Ankle rocker, pivot, beautifully sculpted joints right there. We're hiding that ugly ball joint. So overall, yeah, this figure does look awesome. You can get him in some really good poses, dynamic poses. You can have him throwing that batarang, and it looks great. But what's unfortunately lacking is that extra little bit I expect, definitely, from Mcfarlane Toys. To see the extra bit of armor padding there, I think would have made this one of the most standout, stellar versions of Nightwing that we would have ever gotten in figure history. That's a bold statement, but man, if they just would have executed that. Now, I'm racking my brain trying to think, how can I fix this figure and add that extra bit of armor on? I remember back in the day from Kenner, the Legends of the Dark Knight, when they released a Nightwing figure, it did have that plastic overlay to go over his chest, and it looked really good. I definitely think it wouldn't fit on this figure, but I would love to hear what you guys think, what we can do to make this figure a bit more traditional to that Nightwing artwork we see on the back of the package. But don't get me wrong, guys, I don't think this is a terrible, terrible figure. It does have some fantastic points. I'm very happy to add it to my collection because it does look pretty darn cool. Just wish they would have gone that extra mile to make it better and make it the best version of this Nightwing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this Nightwing, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.